Good evening, everyone. Our topic tonight on the poverty mindset is going to be really interesting. So I hope you guys sit down and you process and digest all that you're going to get. But before we start the show, Constance and I want you to kind of get a little bit of a head start on what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, and of course, I've been designated as the person to read this. So sit still, listen, and we hope that you are able to process it and use it, apply it to your own life. The poverty mindset trap. The trap of the poverty mindset is a set of self-limiting beliefs that prevent or hinder you from making good choices in life. People with a poverty mindset believe they're victims. They are stuck in a system that prevents them from getting ahead. Many have tried numerous times to break out of poverty, only to end up deciding it's useless. They just can't do it. They're being held back or held down. And most of the times they don't realize that they're the ones holding themselves back or down. If that's you, some change is needed in order for you to gain the tips you need to change your life for the better. The poverty mindset cycle. Trying to escape poverty and being prevented from doing so can zap your energy. You may become trapped and lose hope. And a lot of people lose hope. They just give up. I hope that's not you, because you have a life that you want to live, and you can if you decide that you're going to take a positive attitude towards your life and not allow anyone to get in your way. Some people believe that the rules benefit others. The rules can favor the rich and hold the poor back so the rich can use them. Well, you know what? The rich can only use us if we allow it. If we're not doing anything with our lives that will help us to get to where we want to go or to live the quality of life that we want, whose fault is that? We must learn to take responsibility and accountability for what's going on in our own lives. That's no one else's fault. You do have the power to change your life, but you have to be dedicated and diligent in the process of doing so. Life can be very difficult. And believe me when I tell you, I've had some difficult days in my life, but I was never willing to allow those difficult days, those difficult times to pull me down and keep me down. Why? Because I knew in my heart of hearts that there was something better for me. I didn't know what I had to do to get it. I didn't even know if I was traveling on the path that I needed to travel on in order to make things happen for myself. But you got to take steps. You got to take steps. And whether it's the right step or not, you won't know that until you take that step. Some people feel trapped by the market. They believe the market benefits the rich. Okay, so all right, if you believe that, then that you're saying, well, life doesn't benefit me. Nothing is designed to benefit me. I'm just here, and whatever miserable life I'm going to live, I'm just going to live. Not true. That's a poverty mindset. Ditch that mindset and believe that you are capable, that you're entitled, and that you can. Don't allow negative thoughts to enter your mind and cause you to put yourself down, because that's what a lot of people do. The cycle is based on a belief of powerlessness. It's no use trying to get ahead financially or otherwise, because you can't. Yes, you can. Stop saying, I can't. Or life just wasn't meant to give me all the wonderful things that other people have. That's not true. That's a poverty mindset. It's no use trying to get ahead because they won't let you. That's a poverty mindset. Be very clear about it. And poverty mindsets are based on negative beliefs, negative words, and just negativity in general. You've got to understand when negativity is attacking you and trying to keep you from becoming the incredible being you were created to be. The cycle perpetuates because the victims believe they're victims and have no control. They feel that control is outside of themselves and preventing them from escaping from the poverty trap. That's only true if you believe it. That's only true if you believe it. And if you're willing to do whatever it takes to bring yourself to that level of living, that level of life that it takes to have all the things that you know you can have or that you want, go for it. Don't allow people or your circumstances. And, I often talk about my childhood and all the difficulties I went through during that time. If I had allowed the incest and the rape to become a part of who I am, I would never have gotten anywhere. But you know what? As I always say to people, just because you were victimized by someone doesn't make you a victim. And so you got to stop thinking that you are a victim if that's how you're thinking, because you're not a victim. You can rise above all the things that have happened to you in your life that weren't so good. You've just got to believe in yourself, and you got to dedicate yourself to being accountable and responsible for your own life. You know what? It would be very nice if we could piggyback on other people's lives and have the life that we'd like. It just doesn't work that way. And so it's all about you. What are you willing to do to have the quality of life that you so desperately long for, that you desire? And let me just say, you deserve it, but you've got to do the work that's necessary in order to manifest the quality of life you want. Changing the locus of control. Awareness that you're stuck in a poverty mindset allows you to shift the locus of control from external to internal. Everything you are and everything you're about comes from within you. It's not outside of you, it's in you. And so it helps you to manifest everything that you'd like to have during this lifetime and till the ending of your life, till you take your last breath. You can do it. You can do it. And you need to keep saying that to yourself. I can do this. I can make my life wonderful. I can, I can, I can, I can. Not I can't. I can't is a poverty mindset belief. And as long as you're willing to believe you can't, you never will. Awareness that you're stuck in a poverty mindset allows you to shift the locus of control from external to internal. When you have an internal locus of control, you have the power to make changes. You have the power to make changes. You have the power to change your life for the better. And this is something Constance and I are going to share some of our own thoughts, our own beliefs, and with you, because you know what? When I look at my life, I could have wallowed in the pain of my childhood. I could have given up many times, but I refused to. I absolutely refuse to. You can't have a give up mentality if you want a stand-up life. That's just the way it is, whether you like it or not. And maybe no one has ever told you this before, but you can do anything that you want to do, that you set your mind and your heart to, as long as it's good. Because, I always say to people, positive behavior will grant you positive outcomes. Negative behavior will win you negative outcomes. So ask yourself, what do I want? Am I willing to be positive? And am I willing to let the negative just pass by me, not take it and process it and make it part of my life? I don't make negativity a part of my life. I stay in the positive because it makes me feel good. It helps me to believe that I can, no matter what. Because you know what? There are days when I'm like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. I don't know if I can do this anymore. That's when my positive mindset kicks in and says, yes, you can. Go for it, girl. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And so I do, because I believe that there are some wonderful things still ahead of me before I take my last breath. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep thinking positive, and I'm going to do as much as I can to help others do the same. But you know what? Unless you're willing to take full responsibility for yourself and to believe in yourself, you never will. And so life will never change, and grant you the gifts that are all around you, just waiting for you to dig in and pull out all the goodness that is laying within the garden of your soul and waiting for you to retrieve them. Some people can achieve the realization that their biggest obstacle to progressing in life is within themselves and make a change quickly. Others need more help. If you need help, guess what? All you have to do is ask for help. You know, there's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that is so true. I've always found that whatever I was ready for, somehow it just came into my space and place, and I was able to get what I needed to keep going. Because sometimes just the act of continuing on down the paths of the roads you're traveling, it can be very exhausting. And you know what? I think it's a human thing to think that you can, or feel that you're too tired, that you just can't go on any further. But when you rev up that internal energy and really believe in yourself, rest if you need to rest, but keep going as soon as you have rested up and are ready to go forward. You know what? Some people feel so beaten up by the system that no quick change is possible. They'll need more support and guidance. It's true. You know what? No matter how much support and guidance I've needed, I've always searched for what I wanted. And it's that searching for rather than giving up that has opened the doors to what I want for my life, for my family, and just in general. You know what? I run into a lot of people who live by the woe is me mentality. Their poverty mentality is so stuck on stupid that they just don't know how to accept the help, or ask for help, or just say, I need some support. I don't have the answers to this, or I don't have the answers to that. you know can you help me? Some people feel that their asking for help is based on weakness. But it is the wisest person on the planet that's willing to ask for help and then be humble in the process of receiving that help. Because so many people think that they are not deserving. They don't want they do not want to okay, that was my little pup trying to get into the conversation, but she's not allowed to get in this conversation because I'm talking to you guys, okay? So it's okay, but you know what? We've got to be very cautious about how we move forward in life, and just realize life is a beautiful thing. We've got to embrace it. We've got to embrace the beauty. Yes, there are a lot of negativity around us. Trust me, sometimes I see people and I'm just, oh my God. But you know what? you can't help people who are not ready to be helped. And so if I say to you that you can, believe me, with all that I've been through in my lifetime, I have. And it was just believing that I can that has made a big difference for me. And I can assure you that if you begin to take responsibility and then be accountable for your life, there will be miraculous changes that come and allow you to get to that place or that space or on that path that you need to be on. You know what? There are a lot of good people out here, a lot of good people who are willing to help you and will not think any less of you because you need the help. You know, I've always sought the help I've needed. And that's how I've been able to get this far in life. But if you're not willing to ask for help, then nobody will know that you need the help. And they'll go on about their own lives, living from day to day. And you'll be one of the people who get left behind in the process of the movement forward that so many of us are in the process of undertaking at this moment. But you have to realize even the most basic of situations, the most basic of circumstances, the most basic of needs can all be met, but it's totally up to you. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? Are you willing to do the work to get there? Or are you somebody who just wants to piggyback on the life of others? Let me tell you something, that piggybacking is not a good thing because sooner or later, that person who you're piggybacking on is going to say, I've had enough, goodbye, and move on. Then what? You won't even understand how you got there, other than the fact that you were sipping and supping on somebody else's life. So I encourage you to sit back and listen to today's show and understand that life lessons come in interesting ways. And the key is to learn that lesson. Say, what is it I need from this lesson? And then extract what you need, apply it to your life, and then keep on going and growing forward because you have the power to do that. But you've got to exercise that power. It's like going to a gym. You know, if I go to the gym and I just sit there, I'm not going to lose any weight. I'm not going to firm up my body. I'm just there just to say I was there. I've got to take responsibility for getting on the gym equipment and working out. And if I don't know how to use it, I have to say, hey, can somebody help me here? I don't know how to use this machine and I don't want to harm myself. I don't want to hurt myself trying to do something I don't know how to do. And I've done that. I've been in the gym, say, hey, I need a little help here. How do I work this machine? And what's the proper way of using it so that I get the best out of it? So it's okay. You know what? Anybody who look down on you because you don't know, they got some issues themselves. You walk away and you keep looking for the people who do know. And you keep connecting to the people who do know and who have your best interests at heart. And then after a while, you'll see that your body will begin to change, your mindset will change, and you'll slowly but surely begin to pull the weeds of that poverty thinking that you may have been living in for so long will begin to dissipate, begin to disappear. But it's not going to disappear like magic. Well, in a way, it'll seem like magic, but you know what? It will only be the magic that you produce yourself. So I want you to sit back, take your time, even take notes if you need, because Constance and I are going to share the best of who we are and talk about this poverty mindset and give you some tips and tools and, that will help you to move to a better place. You've got to get the information you need to be in a better place and space. So Let us begin, and I hope you get the most out of today's program.
Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us, we on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us, we on a sister ship. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sister ship, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You go with me and I'll go with you. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You go with me and I'll go with you. Substance, oh. Sis, you know we on a mission, no games. Help each other get over.
Mama C, it's all yours.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's segment of the QUEENAGER Wisdom Talk Show. I'm your co-host, Deborah Kofer, aka Mama C.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. And I am Constance Mora, aka Missy.
All right. All right. And tonight we're going to talk about a topic that is so important because I think that a lot of people don't even realize that they're rolling like this. And to start us off today, I want to read something that I found on the internet when I was doing some research about the poverty mindset. It's hard to imagine that anyone would choose to be poor. Lack of money causes a lot of problems. It's linked to stress, health issues, an array of difficulties with which the rich are less afflicted. Clarity, affluence is clarity is clear. Okay, just roll with me here. Clearly, affluence is the more desirable option. So why would someone choose poverty? And in this particular case, we're not talking about financial poverty. We're going to talk about mental poverty, which leads to the whole function of just being poor, whether it's financial, whether it's mental, spiritual. There's so much about this life that so many of us don't understand and haven't given any thought to. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing the QUEENAGER Wisdom Talk Show, so that we can help to enlighten you about certain things that you may not even be consciously aware of. Now, those with a poverty mindset didn't choose it. What happens is a lot of times people grow up being abused. They're told that they have no worth. They told that they never amount to anything. And the more you tell somebody something like that, the more they're processing that. And they're also choosing it as their truth. But no matter what goes on in our lives, no matter how difficult a childhood or even adulthood has been, we've got to maintain, we got to achieve and maintain a positive mindset. Constance, I know you and I have talked about this over the last month. And what are some of your thoughts about the poverty mindset?
Well, you know me. I start out by breaking it down. I have to break down the word if. If you look in the dictionary, if is like, so it's expounded in like maybe 100 ways. If, walk, even walk, you know? So when I look at just poverty, what does poverty mean to me? What does it mean in general, you know? What is poverty? Like we look at it when you spoke about from financially, I'm poor, I don't have, but it's a deficit. You know, it's insufficient, having an insufficient need, insufficient to meet my need.
Right.
Meagerness, starving, barrenness. So when I think of poverty, that's emptiness. Something is missing. You know,
something's missing.
Something's missing. Something needs to be filled. Maybe I need to be rebooted. Why am I so lackadaisical about not having. And
Mhm,
I like
mhm.
what caught me in the reading is the rich is less afflicted, because they don't have to worry and be stressed out about, money. But it all begins with inside, because that's
Absolutely.
what's going to manifest on the outside, right? That's why we have our dreams and our desires and our talents and our gifts, but they can easily be squashed or squandered by a poverty mindset. And it can come from outside influences as well.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
when I think about, I grew up in the projects, and you have to really be determined to get out, because you can get caught in that poverty mindset. It's almost like crabs in a barrel, and
Yeah,
people are not doing it deliberately. You know, if I was to say people don't want to see you get ahead or see you move, that's not necessarily the case. They are where they are. And so,
exactly.
right, it's that comfort, and
Yeah,
we're in this together. So I don't really want to see you move any further. So we take on that mindset. Also, we take on the vibrations
right.
of, if I try to use a really broad vocabulary, then I'm accused of being
A
uh,
snob.
a snob. Yeah, I'm gonna use a snob because you know the other word, which is like, yeah, okay, you're right. What is with that? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about for
Yeah.
sure.
So that
Because
poverty. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
because that poverty mindset, once it sets in, it's very hard to break, because once you begin to believe that you are a victim of your circumstances, and you move with that mindset, you're never going to be able to live the quality of life that you would like. A lot of people sit back and they wish and they hope and they dream and they pray, but you have to take some positive actions in order to achieve whatever it is that you want during your lifetime. Human life is a gift,
Mhm.
and we have to treat it as such, and not allow the negative things that go on around us, whether it be in our home, outside of our home, or in our community. You have to be able to speak to yourself and say, that's not my my all with all, or my ending in life.
Right. Right.
I deserve more. I deserve better. I'm going to have better. But then you got to begin by saying, okay, well, what does it take for me to have better, be better? And maybe when I get to where I want to be, I can help others achieve what their dreams are. So it's a very delicate situation that people live in, because their minds have been conditioned to believe that they are nothing, they will never be anything. Or a lot of them say, oh, well, this is the hand that life dealt me.
Right.
Well, if you're talking about a card game, you have the ability to win that card game.
Exactly.
You just have to be aware of what some of the tips and some of the tactics that you can use to enhance the quality of your life. You're not here to live a meager life. We're all here to live an extraordinarily awesome life. But when you've gone through so much and your mind has been beat down to such a degree where you don't feel that there's any hope for you, there's no hope for you. And so we've all got to move beyond that negative conditioning that we have lived under for so long.
Right. And we have to be able to identify it. I think what happens is where a lot of us fall through the cracks in that poverty mindset is not being able to identify it. Like, okay, low self-esteem. I'm
Right,
not good enough. I'm not enough.
right.
There's not enough. I'm not as good as that. Comparing ourselves to one another, or being competitive, or just not asking for help. The
Mhm.
pride that comes in. Like you'll just wander around all by yourself, and a lot of times all it takes is maybe just networking, or just reaching out for a mentor or for a support group. And then also to understand where we may fall a little short, even though we had the talent and the gift to come out of that mindset. But where are we falling short? Do we need a little more education? Or do we need a little course or whatever? And if it's money, how to get the money? Is it a loan? Is it a grant? Is it a scholarship? Is it whatever it is? There's a way, because God will make a way. If He gave us these gifts and talents, right, and the dream and the purpose, then it is a way. We have a friend, a mutual friend. I won't say her name. I'll leave it as anonymity. But when her daughter was going to college, she was on that phone calling every scholarship, every grant, because sometimes there's scholarships that we don't even know about. Scholarships for if you have red hair, or just what I'm saying. I'm just throwing that out there, but it's different scholarships that we don't, unless we look, we won't even know. And she made sure that she got every scholarship. She would call the politicians, her congresswomen or congressmen, and say, you know what, I am a registered voter and blah blah blah. And they really looked out for her, and it will happen. But just knowing that there is help, and not worrying about other people's opinions and other people's thoughts.
Absolutely.
It requires staying focused, really not being distracted by the outside.
Absolutely. And to that point,
distract you.
One of the biggest problems, or I don't really like the word problem, but let's say challenges. One of the biggest, people tend to wallow in the word problem. So we're gonna look at this from a challenging perspective. A lot of people don't understand that they have the power to be, do, become all that they envision, but they've got to do the work. And sometimes the work is hard, and people don't want to go through the strife and the struggle to get where they want to be. And I think that mindset has to change, because nothing in this life is easy. And at my age, I know that for sure, because everything I've gotten, I've worked very hard for. I believed in myself, and I didn't let people tell me or say things to me that were not conducive for my progress in life. And see, you got to stop people. You got to stop people from saying things to you that your mind is processing and using to work against you. So I think that when it comes to language and words, they say words have power. They do have power. Anytime you're set to feed yourself negative words. Oh, well, I can't do this because, or, oh, I have this problem or that problem, or, and that's how they see it. They don't even see it as a challenge. And so they don't get any further than they are, because they don't believe that they can. They believe it's almost, they take a perpetual victim attitude when it comes to life. And if you're going to be a victim, then there's no hope for you. And when people are victimized, I always remind them, you were victimized, but you are not a victim. You're a victim if you choose to be. And I think that's so important. Don't let people tell you anything about you're not being able to do whatever, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, or whatever. You possess the power. You just got to pull that power up from the core of your soul and use it. And you're smarter than you think you are. And a lot of times people will put you down, say nasty things to you, do nasty things to you, because like the saying goes, misery loves company.
Right.
And it really does.
Right. So you can't be the victor and the victim, and you can't have the power and be powerless.
That's
so
right.
you have to have an awakening to yourself. You have to really go within to come out. And when I say go in, that is to become self-aware.
Yeah, absolutely.
And take the blame, take the accountability, take the responsibility for oneself.
Absolutely.
We do that by going in, and then it doesn't matter what's going on the outside, because the outside is going to always be there.
Absolutely,
So we,
absolutely.
we look for the positive. We look for people who are supportive because we're going to need a team, and the team is going to help us spiritually, and it's going to help us mentally, and maybe sometimes financially. So we need a team there in some kind of way. Eventually, we'll have to get to that team, but we have to
Right.
be ready ourselves. And you know
Yes.
what? I had an experience. It's somebody that I grew up with for over 60 years.
Wow.
And I always, out of love and tolerance and where they are and where I am, I always listen. And they'll
Right.
go on and on about what they're doing and where they're going. And I make it interesting because I'm listening, right?
Right.
On and on. And then they'll throw in what somebody else they know is doing. Oh, and I have a friend and she's writing this book and she's doing this and she just bought this house and that, and then start talking about everything else, right? And then when it's all over, it says to me, this is a 3,000-mile away call, and says to me, so how's the weather there? And I said, okay, now I got your number. You know what? You didn't ask me how I'm doing, but let me just tell you how I'm doing, because sometimes then you wonder why that weight stayed with you all the time, because it's those vibrations, it's in the air, it's the nuances, like with no support. So it can be overt or covert, these things will
Absolutely.
go on. It's so subliminally, that where the people you're around, you think that you're going to get the support, but you're going to see after a while, you're not going to get the support there, but you have to still go on. You have to be
Absolutely.
your support. You have to be your main cheerleader.
Oh, absolutely. And like when we began the show and I fumbled a little bit. Look, I'm not perfect. I have days where I fumble all day long.
Oh, me
Uh,
too.
but but
I
that
fumbled
has
into
nothing
this
to do with
today.
who I am, exactly, Constance. It has nothing to do with who I am. I had
Right.
a fumble moment.
Yes.
I have a fumbling life. And I
Right.
think that, people tend to want to be perfect. They want
Yeah.
people to think that they're all that in a bag of chips, and nobody is perfect. And I don't mind showing my imperfections to
Right.
people because no matter what, it doesn't define who I am, nor does it define how far I'm going, or
Right.
growing,
Right.
And so I could have said to my daughter, oh, let's take another take, let's do another take because that wasn't perfect. No, I think it's important for people to understand that we all fumble, we
Yes.
all go through moments that we're like, oh God.
Right.
But,
Right.
the key here is to get up and keep going.
Right.
I mean, we don't have to drown in all of the negativity that we're going to find ourselves in the midst of, or find people throwing their negativity balls at us,
Mhm.
and it happens. You've just got to be confident. We've got to be confident enough in ourselves that we don't allow the negativity that's trying to enter our personal, private, and sacred space
Yeah.
to enter. If we do, then that means we didn't do something, or there's something we have not yet done to fortify ourselves so that none of that makes an impact on the quality of our lives.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's so important that we begin, for those of you who have this poverty mindset, that you begin to change your view of yourself.
That's
I do a
very
series
important.
entitled Meology, Mastering the Science and Fine Art of Self-Love. I think the more you love yourself, the
Mhm.
more you believe in yourself.
Mhm.
And the more you go after the things that you know that you want and you believe that you're entitled to. It's all about how we're thinking and whether or not that thinking is supporting the quality of life we, as members of the human family, want to live and can live. You see so many people who are making great strides in life. Well, that's because they believe they can.
And
They
they're
believe
working
in
at it.
themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're working hard at it. They have chose to let go of a lot of things, and it requires letting go of a lot of things.
Ab-
It can be
Absolutely.
physical things, it can be things that we're holding on to, the thoughts, holding on to resentments, holding on to when I was a kid, this happened, and when this happened when I was a child, and this happened when I was a teenager, and and either running to substances, and it's hard to function under the influence of drugs and alcohol and certain other things, recreational drugs and things. You want a clear mind. At least I want a clear mind.
Yeah, me too.
Some people can function like that, so I'm not knocking people who can. I'm just talking in general.
In general, exactly.
Stereotyping anything because it's an individual thing. Artists may want a little something, something. I don't know. I know for me, when I write better when I'm clearer. So, but that doesn't mean that you can't, write any other under substances. So, being able to let go of the past and let go of bad energy. I can sense bad energy.
Ooh, me too, girl.
It just comes into space, and I just really want to get away from it.
Yeah.
So I can't expect that energy to be supportive of me and everybody. Another thing with the poverty mentality is coming to me. Everybody is not going to be happy about what you're doing. Everybody's not going to be happy about your dream. You want to find out about dreams, go to the Bible and read the book of Joseph telling his brothers of his dream. I mean, it all worked out, but sometimes you just have to keep it to yourself for a little bit, or to someone you really trust. Because
absolutely.
Right? You get
yeah.
Trust.
I agree with you.
And you're blessed if you get many. If you get more than one or two, you are really, really blessed.
Absolutely.
That people are gonna be as happy for you as you are in your gift. Because the bottom line is God gave us all gifts and talents, and if he gave me one and gave you 10, my one is sufficient.
Yeah.
Be in gratitude and use that one, because if you don't use it, you're probably gonna lose it.
Absolutely. It's like going to the gym because you want to keep your body in full alliance with the life you're trying to live. So if you don't exercise your gifts, your talents, etc., then they weaken. And then after a while, they kind of fade. Why? Because you didn't believe in yourself. You didn't have the level of, or shall I say, and you didn't have an attitude of gratitude. I tell people, you know what? There's a lot of things that I would like to have before I take my last breath. But I'm very grateful for what I do have right now. I'm grateful, and I sit sometimes and I do these gratefulness exercises where I tell myself everything that I'm grateful for.
Yes.
And when I connect to the thought of just how blessed I am to have gotten this far in life, considering the traumas of my childhood, I am very thankful. I am very thankful. And, I think when we can make the best of what we have, we prove worthy of having more. But if you're going to take the mindset of, I'm never going to get anywhere, I can't do this and I can't do that. And, woe is me. And you kind of wallow in that woe is me pool, a cesspool, not a regular pool, a cesspool.
Right.
Then you're never going to get anywhere. I don't let negative thoughts come into my life. If I have a negative thought or a negative thought tries to work its way into my mind, I blow it away instantly. I remember when I was younger, my mother used to have a saying, and even though she was mentally ill, there were some parts of her that had plenty of sense. So whenever she felt negative energies coming in and trying to attack her, she used to say, "Be gone, Satan." And I was like, wow, so there were certain senses that she had that she knew she had the power to ward off some of the negative energies that came at her. And I just remembering and thinking about her in those moments. If I have a negative thought knocking at my door, number one, I don't let it in. Number two, be gone, Satan. I use my mother's words, get away because I'm not the one.
Right, and that covers a multitude of things. When you say "be gone, Satan," that covers, if you're going to continuously be around me, pulling me down, complaining and blaming and
Oh,
judging
God.
and finding fault with everything and everybody and every situation, and just being miserable and
Yeah.
not in gratitude and not mindful. Just I like to be around mindful people, people who
Yes,
are self-care, taking care of themselves, because if they take
absolutely.
care of themselves and they love themselves, then there's a chance they're gonna love me, or take care of how they
It,
treat me and relate and respond to me.
absolutely. But you know what? What loving yourself, I found out, does also,
Mhm.
it enables us to see the haters and those people who are not conducive to our well-being. The more I love myself, the more I can see them,
Yeah,
hear them,
right.
sense them, and that's powerful when we're given that gift to be able to do that. But a
Yes.
lot of people, they just don't understand the process of life requires, or shall I say, the process of living the caliber of life we want requires that we don't take in negative energy, that everything we think and even the people around us, places we go, they have to be positive. If
Right.
not, we are likely to fall victim to all of the garbage that will come at us. And then we will start to think negative and start to do negative things. And the negativity will take you out of here faster than a bullet.
It sure will. It sure will. And then the thing too is, when people, when once you really have self-care and you're becoming self-aware, say being spiritually awakening,
Right.
just really being connected with your higher power, being connected in that God-centered place. Be it when you're connected, then like attracts like. So you're not going to
Yes.
attract it too much. So when it comes in that and comes in your space and stuff, you see it. And it's always good to pray, God bless them, God bless me, and pray for
And
them.
I'm out of here.
And I'm out of here, because sometimes, you can't, I'm not God. Okay. So I let God do God's work. I do what God has for me to do. And so I think of it like, do I want to be on the ground looking up, or do I want to think on those things, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, I want to think on those things. And so those people are going to come in my space and come in my life, because if they're coming in and they don't mean me any good, and they are, you know, trying to enforce that poverty mentality,
Yeah.
that emptiness, the emptiness of the soul and the emptiness of the spirit, and the not being in an awakening and not being in awareness,
Right.
and then I'm not the one you really want to be around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I can understand your mom saying, "Get thee behind me, Satan," because it covers a multitude of things that I don't want in my life or around me.
Absolutely. And I agree with you so wholeheartedly
Mhm.
that, you know what? I would rather be happy and by myself than
Yeah,
unhappy,
right,
you know?
right, right.
So,
Yeah, and we have to be willing to get out of that poverty mindset, is being willing to not just let go of people and of circumstances, of situations, but be willing to accept change.
right.
If it means changing a job, if it means getting out of a bad marriage, if that it's not working, if it means getting out of a bad relationship, sometimes it will be a permanent thing. You may have to let a friend go while you're studying a script, or doing your, studying your lines, or writing
Absolutely.
your book or something, and getting rid of people who, not getting rid of, but how can I say it? Just putting on the burner for a minute while you do what you have to do, because
Yeah.
you have people who are so dependent and so codependent, and they, you just don't have that kind of time. And a real friend understands, because most of the time your real friend is busy also. You know, your
Yeah,
real
absolutely.
friend is doing a cooking shows and stuff on TV, and
Absolutely.
everybody is doing their thing, you know, and I love it. I love it because I know when we connect, it's all in love. It's not,
It's-
oh, you didn't call me. And that's a
Mhm.
poverty mentality. Oh, you didn't call me. Oh, you haven't been talking to me. Oh, I don't know if I want to talk to you. I'm not, you haven't called me in months. And all that, you know, it's just, it's too much. It's too
Absolutely, it
much.
is. It is. And it just pulls you down. It's almost like someone put a weight
Mhm.
around your neck and you're drowning. And then they dropped you into the water, you're drowning. You know, I absolutely do not allow that kind of energy in my personal space, because I am doing a lot of things. And you know, the people in my life, like you and so many of my other friends, we're all busy. We're living life. And that's the key, to live life. We're not here to endure suffering. We're here to live life, overcome the challenges, and be a sprinter
Yeah.
along the runways of life.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes I'm sprinting so hard
I'm
that
inspired. Go, girl, go, go.
you know, I literally wear myself out.
Yeah.
But I also have learned to listen to my body. This week I wasn't feeling so great, and even today I didn't know if I was going to feel well enough to do this show. And I said, you know what? Whenever you and I connect, the energy, I just feel myself being filled with the energy. And you know what? People don't realize that good energy is healing.
Mhm.
And when we are willing to not allow people who don't have good energy into our personal space, we find ourselves in a much better place than if we are in the space with someone who is just negative Nelly.
Mm.
Everything is negative.
Mm.
Oh, well, I don't, this is how I feel. And oh, I don't feel like doing this. And oh, I don't think I can accomplish this. Oh, you know, you've done so much. I don't know if I could have done all the things you've done. And oh, give me a break. Give me a break. So I don't even, no. Once I see, and let me tell you, people don't understand that negative energy also has a smell.
Mm.
I can smell negative energy, and the smell is not a good one. You know,
Mhm.
it once, if you let it get too close, you'll be walking around like this. You'll be like, what the heck was that?
That.
And, you know, we got to learn to relax.
Yeah.
We have to learn to relax. I
Mhm.
think that many of the health challenges that I'm dealing with today is because I never learned how to relax. I had to always be doing, you
Right.
know, and
Right. Right.
I know you have to work hard to achieve a certain level of success, but you also have to be good to yourself. We have to learn to relax. My
Right.
body has told me, look, I had a sciatic attack last week, and I literally have been in the house since last week because my
Mm.
body was not allowing me to be as mobile as I'd like to be. And do I get angry? No. I
No.
said, you know what? That's my body talking to me. I need to be still for a while and allow my body to heal. And not that I do anything near what I used to be able to do. I don't even, if I was still able to do all those things, I wouldn't do it, because one of the things I keep telling younger women is multitasking will tear you down. Not only wear you out, it'll tear you down. And next thing you know, you're looking up from a hospital bed, which I did a number of times when I was working, you know? So I have to learn to listen. I had to learn to listen to my body. And if my body is saying not today, then it's not today.
Right.
It can wait till tomorrow or maybe next week or whatever, you know? And I knew I had tomorrow I have an MRI on my knee. The doctor wants to find out if I have a torn meniscus in my knee. Uh, because it had really, I woke up one morning and the pain was excruciating, and it lasted for about a week. I finally went to my primary care physician. He put me on some on prednisone, which woo, it took the pain right out. And then I went to see the specialist, And, but you got to follow up on yourself. You can't pretend that nothing's happening, because if something's happening, you need to get to the bottom of it. You cannot live with a poverty mindset. Like, oh, it's just going to go away, or, oh, I'm not going to pay any attention to that. No, your body's trying to tell you. My body was trying to tell me something. And so I went to the doctor, and then I made an appointment for the specialist, and he wanted me to do an MRI, which I'm doing tomorrow. So we have to learn to relax, and we have to learn to take care of our bodies. Don't pretend nothing's happening, because if you're hurting, you're aching, ignoring it is only going to make it worse. And that's what I did for many years when I was working at North Carolina. I ignored it. And let me tell you, sometimes I'd end up in the hospital bed, and I'd have one of the assistants bring up my work. Okay, I have a pile of work on this on this side of the desk, get that. I would be in bed. I should have been working on healing, but I'm working. So we have to learn to relax. There's nothing wrong with relaxing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with relaxing. And it's a necessary thing if we want to keep our bodies functioning in a way that allows us to do the things we need to do so that we can get to higher levels of living.
Exactly. And when you said that just now, I just got a quick thought that we have to learn to relax. We have to take the time to relax. We have to take the time to be alone, to be with ourselves. I first thing in the morning, I take quiet time. Some people call it meditation, whatever.
Me too, I do.
I have to do that, But just even if we do that, then there's times that you may need a little nap. You may need a cat nap, or you may need a longer nap, or you may just need to go to bed earlier. Right? Or we have a thing with, especially retired women, or you're just consulting and you may have more control over your hours. It's almost like a guilty feeling to lay down in the middle of the day, or to I can't even go to my bed. I'll just go on the couch and I'll take a nap.
And you nod. Yeah, I do the same thing.
Take a nod. Like my body is like, we're shutting down. Okay, you have no control over this. We tried to give you control. We tried to give you a choice to go to the bed. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, so you sit here now and you just nod.
And you nod, exactly.
So yeah, but it's that feeling, and it could go way back into our DNA, like work, get out there, you have to work, and
that's that post-slavery syndrome still working within the cavity of our souls, because we've not extricated that from our lives. And that takes time, and it takes a level of consciousness, conscious awareness that it's there. And we have to do the work to kind of de-weed the garden of our souls from time to time. Pull them weeds out, get rid of them, allow ourselves to think on a higher level. And then things start to come together the moment we become enlightened souls, and we realize things that we didn't realize once upon a time, way back when. And one of the things that when you were talking about people being, in the past or in the, most people are sitting around pondering on what they once had or what they want in the future. But it's the gift of the present moment that gives us the ability to get into the future. And the past is gone. It's just gone. We can have some wonderful memories of what once was, but if we're sitting in the past, focusing on what happened to us, what somebody did to us, or in the future, just pondering on what I could have or what I really want my life to look like, but I'm not doing any work to get there. That's a poverty mindset.
Right.
People are stuck in the past, or they're hanging out in the future.
Right. Or a poverty mindset waiting for, say, like the government or somebody to do something for you. And they can never do what you can do for yourself.
Absolutely.
How much you can succeed, how much money you can command, really fulfill your dreams. It's always going to be just enough, mediocre, just enough. If it's that much, just enough to get by, like food
Yeah.
or whatever it is. You know, I'm not saying if you need it, use it when you need it, but you know, be ready to let go of that also. You know,
Absolutely. There's a lot of things I think we need to let go of, but I think individually, each of us need to do that deep introspective self-analysis to
right,
understand what it is that we need to let go of, what it is that may be in our present life that's no longer working for us, or maybe it never did.
right,
And, you know, sit back and make a plan.
right.
Develop a plan, some
Develop a
kind of
plan.
plan to get where you want to go, and then
Mhm,
follow that plan.
mhm.
And if you need to flip the script every now and then, so because something isn't working, then do that.
Flip
You know,
it. That's right. It's
don't
okay.
just sit back and say this
Okay to
didn't
change.
work. Yeah,
Yep.
this didn't work, so I'm just going to give up. That's a
Right,
poverty mindset.
right.
So as long as I've been working at what I'm working at, on the things I've been working on, I have never believed that I would not achieve it. I never believed that I could not and would not achieve it. I will believe right on to my last breath.
That's breath.
Why? Because I know that God has given us the power. And when we dig into our souls, connect to the God presence within us, oh my God, miraculous
Right.
things start to take place.
Exactly, because it's that same power that moves worlds, you know, moves the universe.
Absolutely.
Right. So the poverty mind spirit, I would say, you know, what I would pass on that, I mean, as wisdom, queenager wisdom. Oh, queenager.
Come on, girl. I love being a queenager.
I
I
love being
love
a
it.
teenager too. I'm not a
I just
teenager. I'm a
love
queen.
this phase
I
of
could
my
be a
life.
teenager too. Would they say act as your shoes? Oh well, I'm not even a teenager. I wear 8.5 and sometimes a 9. So sometimes I could be 8.5 and sometimes I could be 9. You know, I don't like that little 5-year-old coming out there, you know, like, oh,
Oh,
that
absolutely.
takes awareness, right? But I would
Mhm.
say, you know, we have to feed our mind, and we have to feed our mind with good literature and good material and good thoughts. I love scriptures. You know, I had thought about put some scriptures for today as they come. I don't just, you know,
Right.
they
You
just,
don't push the issue.
I don't plan it. Right.
You don't,
I don't plan
yeah,
it.
you let it
Right.
come.
Yeah, because it was so many that was fitting for this this topic that we were talking on, the poverty mindset. But you know, just feeding ourselves good thoughts and being around good people and healthy, wholesome, you know,
Yeah,
way of life.
absolutely.
So it's
Mhm.
healthy literature and healthy people and mindfulness and mindfulness means just being in the present, just right now, you know.
Right.
And I watch I'm aware of what I watch on TV, you know, I'm just more aware. Like when I walk into a room, you know, you see the whole architecture of the room, each corner, you know, and that's
Hmm.
the way I want to be in my mindset. When we were going to do this topic, I'm like, oh, you know, because it was things that you know, things that I needed to hear also, you know, because I know a poverty mindset can be a procrastinator, you know, and I have those tendencies. So I have to be, you know, lifting myself up because what am I going to do? You know, stay in a poverty mindset. Oh, well, I'm never going to do that. I'm not good enough to do that. You know, that it's too late. I waited too many years and it's never, ever too late.
It's
You know,
never ever too
never,
late. As
never.
long as we are alive, we are being given every day the opportunity to get there, to be that. You
Mhm.
know, I always say
All of that.
we are all masterpieces
Mhm.
in motion. And
Yes.
so you've got to decide, everyone's got to decide, well, what kind of life do I want to live? One of the things I said I would never do, that I saw so many people doing when I was much younger woman, like in my teens and early 20s. I saw people our age, all they seemed to do was go to the doctor and go to funerals. And I
Mhm.
remember saying to myself, I'm not doing that.
What I
That's
do.
not how I'm going to live my golden years.
Right.
And I've held true to that. You know, I'm going to be good as I possibly can to people while they are alive. And then after they pass on, I will smile because of the good relationship I was able to form with them. And
Mhm.
so, you know, and yes, I probably go to the doctor more than I'd like to, but that's because I'm following up on self-care activities I didn't really adhere to when I was younger. So, you know, what can I say? Oh, I'm looking at the time and we have come to the end of our show for the day. Do you have some words of wisdom you'd like to share with our audience?
You know, I kind of love when you do this. It kind of reminds me of when George said to Gracie, "Say good night, Gracie," and Gracie says, "Good night, Gracie." I'm really dating myself, okay? I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, but I remember that. Anyway, I would just say we put it out there as much as we could, as much as we were fed, we were able to feed. I hope we were helpful to someone, you know. Like
Absolutely.
that he would leave the 99 to get to the one. So if one got something out of it, that makes us happy, although we would love for many more. I would just say, take all of this, everything that we said. I can't wait to watch it myself because then I get fed. Take all of this and go forward. Let it push you forward. Let it push you upward, and let it push you outward. And swim. They said, just swim.
I love it. I love it. I couldn't ask for no more than that. So on that note, we will say goodbye to all of you until next month. We don't know what we're going to do next month, but we'll let the spirit guide us. So
yes.
Our technical person has showed up, which means it's time for the music and time for us to go.
Yes. It was fun, Deborah.
Ooh, love you, girl. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh, you're on mute, Tiff. You're on mute.
Roll with me and I'll roll with you. We my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with you. Sistership, we got this. Now come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this. Now come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about weight. Let's talk about facts. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. Now come on, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us, we on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us, we on a sister ship.
Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it.
We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya.
Substance, sis, you know we on a mission, no games. Help each other get over some things, build strength, bring change. Cause we been through the rain, now it's time to shine like bling. Let's talk about life skills. We building up our quality to right wills. We rolling out of poverty, love heals. So we become the prodigy of how a sistership could be a really hot commodity. Stand together, we united, hold hands, support each other dreams and our plans, doing everything we can. Come on. Just to show we understand the power of a friendship, fam. Live life on purpose. Together we learn it. Yeah, let's talk. We don't want to see you hurt, and we here for each other, no matter the color. Networking, that's for sure and for certain. Come on. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us. We on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us. We on a sister ship.
We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya.
Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it.